This is Stephanie, and welcome to Audio Oasis, a place where you can stop by, listen, think, laugh, and most importantly, rest. Today's story is dedicated to all of you hairbrush singers out there. This one is for you. This takes place back in grammar school. There was an after-school program called Chorus, and it was run by the renowned and formidable Mrs. McLeod. Mrs. McLeod was the school music teacher, and she ran the after-school program. And basically, what she would do is she would recreate popular Broadway musicals, and she would break them down to a sixth grade level. So think of, for example, the play Hamilton. She would take everything about that play, the costumes, the songs, choreography, music, scenery, stage production, everything, and she would recreate it for a sixth grade listener and participant, and it was everything. Everybody wanted to be a part of Chorus because it was definitely the most prestigious group to be a part of, and it just sort of elevated you in the world of the sixth grade mind. So it was a cool thing. Well, Chorus was also run by this group of sisters. They were considered a dynasty because each of the sisters would always get the lead role every year in the annual Chorus production. So if one didn't get it, the next sister would get it, and when the other sister would move on to middle school, the younger sister would get the lead role. So you get what I'm saying. So it was pretty much a dynasty. Now, this group of sisters, they were not only very popular, they were also very proud, and they were somewhat a group of prima donnas, and they were also bullies. You got it. Well, one year, I became a part of Chorus. I was very excited. One of the things that Mrs. McLeod would always tell us to do was not only know your part, but be familiar with all aspects of production. Know the marks on the stage, know all of the music, become familiar with all of the roles of the production. And I did just that. I purchased the soundtrack, and I would listen to it, and I would, sing along with all of the music and all the songs. And it was really cool. And I always had my trusty hairbrush nearby. Well, one day, the prima donna / bully pushed Mrs. McLeod just a bit too far in rehearsal. And Mrs. McLeod warned her, if you keep that up, you will be replaced. She went too far, and she said, you can't replace me. No one can do what I do. She said that in rehearsal. Well, bad move. Just then, Mrs. McLeod stood up. She looked me square in my face. I was standing on the stage, and she said, Stephanie, come forward, please. No, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Come forward, please. I stepped forward, and she said, sing the song. Now, keep in mind, I had been practicing just like Mrs. McLeod told us to, and I actually knew the song because I had my trusty hairbrush. I looked around the stage, and I figured, since I'm going to probably die after this song is over and get jumped in the schoolyard after, I may as well go out with a bang. She looked at me, Mrs. McLeod did. She gave me that nod. In the prison movies, the older prison inmate looks at the young one who's coming in to, let him know, you got to survive, kid. She gave me an imperceptible nod that gave me the courage that I needed, and she hit that opening chord on the piano. I stepped out, closed my eyes, threw my head back, and I nailed it. Nailed all of the choreography, and I finished with a flourish with my head thrown back, holding that last note because it truly was my swan song. I was going to die. Arms outstretched, held the note, and scene. Quiet on the stage. Everyone looked around. When I turned my scared eyes to look at the prima donna / bully who was staring at me with a death glare, I knew it was over. But I also saw a glimmer of recognition in her eyes, like I didn't know you had it in you, kid. So I say to you all out there, listen, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I think I made a new friend. I earned her respect. This is Stephanie, and that was today's Audio Oasis for your journey. Safe travels and be well.
podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.